Yeah.
Now, I ran the information, definitely the lowest monthly payment is $65, okay? And that's something that you're comfortable. I mean, it's lower than the $90 that you were paying before.
Definitely.
Now, the total to actually get you started is roughly 150 to 210. Now, how does this sound?
I like the 150.
Okay, so, and then I'll run the information. It is 150 to 210. That's practically just an approximate. Do you at least have a minimum of 150 today?
Yeah, I do.
So definitely the 150, that's something that you can do today.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
perfect. So let me run the information and I'll check to see exactly how much the insurance company is going to offer you, okay? Just keep in mind that the monthly payment is $65 a month. This is the lowest out of 70 different companies, and the monthly payment is never going to go up, okay? So let me run the information. Let me check the system. Okay, Ignacio. Now, I definitely have good news for you. Now, the monthly payment is going to be $65 a month, and it's never going to change. Okay, so that's a plus. There's a lot of agencies that'll give you something today. Within the next 30 days, you're going to be receiving a mail. You're going to receive a bill through the mail indicating that your monthly payment is no longer the same. It's actually going up. Okay, so the benefit of getting a policy through us is that $65 is going to be something that's going to be solid. It's never going to change unless you get a ticket. Okay. Also, another benefit, keeping the policy for the whole year. The second year, you qualify for a loyalty discount, and the way this discount works, you get roughly about 15 to 20% off of the premium. So that means you may be paying something a lot less than 65.
Okay.
Okay. So I ran the information, and your total is actually 298. Now, 298. That's including the first month. Now your monthly payments are $65. 298. Now, I don't want you to worry about the total. Now,
You got me worried.
well, 298. That's technically one of the options. Okay, I have a few other options. We'll review both of them, or we'll review a few options, and then we'll decide which one's going to be the best one. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Now, has anyone ever given you any type of information or just any details as far as why insurance companies require more than the monthly payment to start your policy?
No, I've never heard that, but
Okay, so let me explain something. Now, there's an example that we usually use at least to demonstrate why insurance companies are requesting the 298. Remember, the 298 is something that the insurance company is requesting, not us. You know, that's just something that they need to be able to practically guarantee coverage. So as soon as you leave the office, by you paying the 298, you're leaving with insurance. Does that make sense? So there's an example called 30 days. Technically, the way this works. Within 30 days, would it be fair to assume that 5 customers out of 100, okay, are involved in an accident?
maybe a little bit less.
Or maybe more, right?
True.
Because we're talking 5 customers out of 100.
Okay.
So I mean, we're not talking 20. We're talking literally 5%. So this example is based on 100 customers, okay? 100 customers, and 5% will be involved in an accident within the first 30 days. Okay. And also, based on the DMV and insurance companies, practically based on the statistics, averages of damages are 4,500. So the example is based on 100 customers. Okay, 5 customers out of 100 are involved in an accident within the first 30 days, and the damages are going to be calculated to average roughly about 4,500. And this is based on DMV, based on insurance companies. Okay.
Okay.
So let's assume that the insurance company only requested a monthly payment. I have a lot of customers that they're only interested in paying the $65, and that's it. They don't want to pay anything else. Okay, they feel that it's not fair. They feel that 65 should be more than enough. Now, let's look at the other situation, the way insurance companies evaluate, the options that they offer. Now, let's just assume that $65 is technically all they need. If we multiply $65, okay, times 100, so the monthly payment is $65. So let's multiply that times 100, okay? We are going to let me do the math, okay? I just want to make sure everything matches, okay? So 65 times 100, okay? It's a total of 6,500. So 65 times 100, they're gonna collect a total of 6,500. So 6,500. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and do the math. 4,500, that's technically the averages per accident, and multiply that times 5, because it's 5 customers out of 100, correct? So let's do the math for that. So 4,500 times 5. We're looking at a total of 22,500. So it's a total of $22,500. So this is technically what they're paying out of pocket. Now let's do the math. The difference, okay, 22,500 minus 6,500. We're looking at a total of $19,000. So they're going to be negative $19,000. So technically, an insurance company that only requires the monthly payment of $65, okay, eventually is going to go bankrupt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they're collecting $6,500, but they're paying $22,500 out of pocket. That's a total of, let me do the math again. My mistake, $16,000. Okay, see? We need to calculate everything, okay? We'll make sure everything matches. So $16,000. So the difference is $16,000. So they're gonna be negative $16,000. Now, we're just calculating 100 customers. Now, let's think for a second. There's a lot of insurance companies that they do a lot of business. So what if we multiply that times 100,000? Or even more. The numbers are gonna be catastrophic. We're talking of losses. They're gonna be in a very negative situation, okay? And then eventually they're gonna go bankrupt. So the reason why they require the 298, and technically you're responsible to pay 298, because now if we do the math, 298 times 100, same type of calculations, we're looking at a total of 29,800. Okay, that's how much they're gonna collect by offering you an option of 298. Okay, now the total that they're gonna pay out of pocket is gonna be the same as the other example, 4,500 times 5. We're looking at a total of 22,500. This is out of pocket. Technically, they're losses. So, what does this mean? This means that they are collecting enough to pay for all the losses. Now they're looking at a difference of 7,300, but this is going to be positive. So by them requesting a total of 298 today, okay, the insurance company is guaranteeing themselves to collect enough premium, so just in case they pay 22,500 out of pocket, they have enough to pay for the losses. Now remember, the insurance company, it's also a business, okay? If they're paying, money out of pocket and not collecting enough, they're gonna go bankrupt. So the reason why your insurance company is requesting 298 today is for the fact that as soon as you leave, as soon as you walk out of the office, you're covered. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
An insurance company does not want to be $16,000 negative. Just think about it for a second. Do you think that an insurance company is going to survive after a couple months of, being negative thousands of dollars?
No.
Absolutely not. Now, just imagine you leave an insurance today, right? Paying the $65, just for a second. The first example. You make damages of $2,000. Okay? You call the insurance company and they tell you, look, Ignacio, you only gave us $65. Out of the $2,000, we're only going to cover 10%. You're responsible for the rest. What would you say?
I'd be pissed.
You would be upset. Okay? That would be very disappointing. Because you made a payment of $65. You left with the impression that you had coverages, right? And all of a sudden they're telling you you don't have enough. So therefore, they want to avoid this situation, and the way they're going to avoid having any customer encounter this situation is by requesting a little bit more. Now remember, the 298, this is technically going to guarantee coverage. So as soon as you leave, you're covered. Okay? It covers your first month, and most importantly, it leaves you with a $65 monthly payment. There's nothing lower. Okay, $65 is the lowest monthly payment. Now, keep in mind, an insurance company also has to protect themselves. If they don't collect enough, what's going to happen? They're going to go out of business. So their job is to collect more than the monthly payment So just in case, remember the example is 30 days, okay? Just in case you're involved in an accident within the first 30 days, they collected a little bit more than the monthly payment. Does that make sense? Now let me ask you a quick question, okay? Let's just assume you leave with insurance today. And let's just go based on the average of 4,500, okay? That's the averages, that's the average for the damages. Let's say, for example, you leave with insurance. You pay the $298 today, okay? You have an accident that causes damages of 4,500. Who's losing? Who's losing? You or the company?
The company.
Why is the company losing?
Because you're paying out of pocket.
Because they're paying what?
They're paying what, over $3,000.
They're paying a lot more than what you gave them, right? So you're investing $298, but they're losing 4,500. Does it make sense? Now, an insurance company is going to be able to balance everything as long as they're collecting a little bit more than the monthly payment. So therefore, the $298, once again, it guarantees coverage. As soon as you walk out of the office, you have the coverages that you selected today, okay? And most importantly, if you're involved in an accident within the first 30 days, the insurance company is not going to take a big hit. They're not going to lose as much as they would have by not collecting anything besides the monthly payment. So $298 is the total for today. Do you want to do that cash or debit?
I'll go credit.
Perfect. Okay, Ignacio. Now, definitely your monthly payment, you're looking at $50 to $60 a month. Okay. Now, we work with 70 different companies, so our job is pretty much to run your information, okay, through our database, and to determine what company is going to give you the best option. Now, in this case, it seems like Infinity is going to give you the best option. Okay. Now, let me give you a bit of information. Okay. Now, the majority of the companies, what they do is they use 3 factors to really determine what you qualify for. Okay. So, 3 main factors. Okay. Now, number 1. Okay, we're looking at the type of driver. Okay. And we're not really talking about who drives better. Okay. We mean the certain qualifications of a driver. For example, driving experience. Let's say, for example, the older you are, the cheaper it gets. Okay, so if you're a young driver, let's say, for example, it seems like you're pretty young. You're roughly around, what, 21?
Yeah, around
Okay,
there.
21, 22. So your monthly payment is going to be higher than me, okay? Because I'm a bit older, okay? So the older you are, the cheaper it gets, okay? The younger you are, the more expensive it gets because you're a high risk. The insurance companies are going to look at you as a high risk for the fact that you may not be as responsible. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
You may be careless, okay?
Okay.
You may be speeding all the time because you really don't care. You have no responsibilities. Versus someone else that maybe has a family, it's a little bit older. Or let's say, for example, a soccer mom or someone that drives a van, a minivan, it's a family vehicle. They're going to drive a lot. They're going to be a safe driver compared to someone that's a little bit younger.
Makes
okay?
sense, makes sense.
Number 2, what type of license? So I'm just going to put DL, okay? What type of driver's license do you have? In your case, you don't have a license, okay? So what we call it is international experience. So anyone that does not have a California license does not qualify for a good driver discount. That's technically what they call it. In your situation, I don't want you to worry about that because either way, once again, I work with 70 different companies, and the companies that I work with specialize in any type of situation. Okay, so I'll find the lowest company, the lowest monthly payment, regardless if you have a license or not. Okay, so type of license, driver's license. That's going to be a second factor. Number 3, let's say if you did have a California license, and we're talking of a DMV record, meaning how many tickets do you have? Now, don't answer because either way, you don't have a license, so I don't need to know, okay? But if you had a license, your tickets, okay? How many tickets do you have? So when we talk about the first factor, which is type of driver, driving experience, okay, that's number 1. What type of license do you have if you have a license? And number 3, do you have any tickets? Okay, so in your situation, the one that's going to influence the most will be the fact that you don't have a license. But once again, I don't want you to worry about that. Now, number 2, the second factor, Just gonna write it down over here. It's gonna be garaging zip code. Now, how does this work? I'm not sure if you know exactly how insurance companies evaluate each zip code, let's say, or each city. Why is Los Angeles more expensive than, let's say, San Diego, for example?
I'd imagine it's because, well, it's more cramped in LA, more people in LA.
Okay, absolutely, population. So there's the formula that I usually use to give you a quick explanation. Number one is population. Okay? Population equals exposure, okay? Now when we talk about exposure, we're talking about how many vehicles are being driven every single day. So let's just put vehicles on the road. And that's gonna lead to accidents, okay? So technically the way it works, I put tickets, accidents, okay? So let's say in this case, the more population, the more vehicles being driven, okay, which it results in more accidents. So let's say, for example, Los Angeles, we're talking of a city that, you know, the population in Los Angeles is ridiculous, okay? So you have a higher possibility of being involved in a car accident in Los Angeles versus in a different city like Riverside or San Diego, for example. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, zip code is always going to be a factor, okay? Now, the third factor would be the coverages or the vehicle. For example, in your case, you just need basic liability, so it doesn't make a difference. But I'll just give you a quick example. Let's say, for example, if you need full coverage, for example, and the value of the car, okay, is more than $50,000, then your insurance policy is going to be a lot more expensive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Or let's say, for example, if you have a commercial vehicle, let's say, okay, then there's certain companies that are not going to accept those vehicles. So that means we would find the lowest company based on that situation. So coverages and vehicles, okay, it's going to influence your monthly payment. Now, the reason why your monthly payment is 50 to 60, which I ran the information, okay, and the exact monthly payment that you're looking at is $69. Now, the reason your monthly payment is $69, number one, because you don't have a California license. So let's say, for example, you were telling me that hopefully within the next 6 months you should be able to get your license.
Hopefully.
So hopefully within 6 months you'll be able to find something cheaper, because then you're going to have a California license. Now you could qualify for what we call a good driver discount. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the second thing that also makes a difference is the fact that you live in Los Angeles. Now, I'll be honest with you, I live in Los Angeles myself. So Los Angeles, it's a lot more expensive than, let's say, San Diego, for example. So $69, once again, is the lowest. We're going with the lowest company based on 70 different companies, which is Infinity, a company that's going to accept your matricula, okay, meaning you don't need to provide us with a California license, not in 15 days, not in 30 days. You don't need a license at all, okay? So the company is very flexible, and also for the fact that we live in Los Angeles. So once again, $69 is the lowest monthly payment. How does that sound?
I mean, if that's the lowest we can go, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely the lowest one. Okay, so let me process the information, okay?